Hello and welcome to Ekevato Reviews. After such a long time, today let's have a bike review that several of you have been requesting for. This is a bike that can make a perfect, affordable beginner bike. It's very fuel efficient, decently powerful enough for a beginner, and it also looks good. It's not a bike that will make you look like a typical boda rider. I'm talking about the TVS Apache RTR 160. And by the way, if you didn't know, RTR stands for Racing Throttle Response. To know more about this bike, please stay tuned. Consider subscribing to the channel for informative content on cars and bikes. And once again, welcome to IKEV Auto Reviews. So this bike has been in production from 2007 till present, though it has received several facelifts and improvements over the years. In 2009, the 180cc version was introduced. Then in 2016, the 200cc was introduced. So there are several variants with the different engine displacements and specifications. Let's begin with the price of this bike. Depending on the year model, trim level and condition, you can get one with roughly between 130 to around to 30,000 shillings. The earlier models are obviously more affordable than the recent ones. There are also different trim levels, like for example, there are those with discs at the rear, which are a bit more expensive compared to those that have drums. There are also those that have single channel ABS. In fact, in 2012, this bike received a facelift that brought about a smoked headlight that also incorporated LED daytime running lights. There was also the introduction of single channel ABS and a redesigned fuel tank. So models from 2012 and onwards are definitely more expensive. Moving on to the engine option, this bike comes with a 160cc single cylinder engine that is air cooled. It produces around 15.7 horsepower at 8500 rpm and 13 newton meters of torque at 6000 rpm. This engine is mated to a 5-speed manual gearbox, and the method of fuel delivery is electronic, that is EFI, electronic fuel injection. Performance-wise, it can attain a top speed of around 120 kilometers per hour depending on the weight the bike is carrying and also how well it has been maintained over the years. Do note, however, that at such high speeds there are quite significant vibrations, and this is expected considering it's a single cylinder engine. In fact, it's not among the most refined engines out there, but it does have good and instant power delivery. The moment you twist the throttle, it will move instantaneously. It's among the most responsive 160cc bikes out there. For a beginner, it's decent enough. It's not too powerful to be dangerous, and neither is it too sluggish. In fact, people have even taken these bikes out on long journeys, say Nairobi to Kisumu, Nairobi to Eldoret. So they are decent enough and can manage a bit of long journeys as long as you take breaks to allow the engine to cool down. As for fuel consumption, this engine can achieve around 45 kilometers per liter, though it will also depend on how you ride as well as how much weight the bike is carrying. Some variants have a 12-liter fuel tank, while others have a slightly larger 16-liter tank, so that depends on the year model and the trim level. The suspension on this bike offers a soft ride courtesy of telescopic hydraulic forks at the front and gas-filled adjustable shock absorbers at the back. The ground clearance is 180 millimeters and the seat height is quite accommodative of people of average height. It's a bike that you won't struggle to flat foot in traffic, but taller people may find it a bit short and crumpled. It's not an ideal bike for very tall people. As for the brakes, it gets a single disc at the front and either drum or disc at the rear depending on the trim level. Variants with discs at both the front and back have really good stopping power, and as I said earlier, there are even variants that have single channel ABS, which is a good safety feature. ABS is very important on bikes because without it there are very high chances of the wheels locking up upon emergency braking, and if you're not that experienced you may end up losing control and even causing an accident. Just 2 days ago, someone passed on while riding from Nairobi to Kisumu. He lost control and was hit from behind by a car. So safety features like ABS are very important, and I don't know why this happens. Vehicles tend not to respect or give way to bikers on highways. In fact, riding is almost being considered a risk or even signing a death certificate. It's not for the faint-hearted. And with long distances, it's normally advisable to have a powerful enough bike that can keep up with highway traffic. There are also aftermarket additions that can improve the safety of bikers on the roads, such as bright daytime running lights to make you easily visible. You could also add these loud air horns. They can be extremely loud but can save your life on the road. Someone might be driving a car that is very good at isolating the occupants from road noise and any other noise coming from outside the vehicle. So the stock motorbike horn may not be that helpful, but the moment you add a loud horn, you will be mistaken for a trailer, and that may just save your life. That said, let's move on to the carb weight of this bike. It's actually a light bike that is easy to maneuver in traffic. It weighs around 136 kgs. So that's all to do with the specifications. Design wise, it tends to look a bit sporty. It's generally a good looking bike that will differentiate you from the normal boda bikes. The sitting position is good enough for short distances, but several people have complained of back pains and wrist pains on long distances. So it may be worth testing how you would cope on the bike on a long journey before deciding to buy. What about its pros and cons? Beginning with the pros, it's a decently powerful enough bike for beginners. It's fuel efficient, has good braking, and offers good value for money, considering the price. With less than 200,000 shillings, you can get a very well maintained low mileage example that will serve you for years reliably. On to its cons. It has significant vibrations at moderate to high speeds. In fact, you'll experience them between 5500 to 7000 RPMs. The second con is the already mentioned back and wrist pain on long distances due to the sitting position. Lastly, the grip on wet roads is significantly poor, so please do take note of that. A lot of care is needed while riding on wet roads. You may maybe consider changing the tires to better ones with better grip. So there you have it. Should you consider this bike as an affordable beginner bike in the used bike market? Absolutely. Its strengths outweigh its weaknesses, but before you buy, make sure to have a good mechanic check it out and also take it out on a test ride just to see how comfortable you are and how the bike handles. That's it for this episode. I hope it has been helpful. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, if you have any inquiries, feel free to reach me via WhatsApp or email. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars and bikes. Take care, ride safe, drive safe, and see you in the next one.